this is Artie and Marissa, and you are listening to the podcast Birth Yourself Brave. Hi, Vanessa. We're here finally together.
Yes, Auntie, lovely to be here on the show with you.
Yes, and we are talking about unlearning what we have learned in childhood. Typical for both of us to discuss.
So true. Exciting stuff, definitely. Definitely.
Let me start introducing you. You're a life coach specializing in helping overachievers jump off the hamster wheel of burnout. I can actually imagine that. It's a very good imagination, isn't it? A very good simile.
Yeah, it's very visual. You can see somebody just running a race on a hamster wheel that's just going moving, and many times not getting anywhere. So that's the area I specialize in, helping people to jump out of that. And it's also something I've been in that situation before. So
yeah, exactly what you just said. I can just imagine. I actually like you. It's quite deep what you've just said as well. So you're in that constant moving, but you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you're constantly trying to strive for more. You're not getting anywhere. You want to feel happy. You want to feel fulfilled. So you think, okay, I'll do the next task, and you achieve that, I guess, and you maybe feel empty. So you get for the next one and next one. And before you know it, many people burn out. That's what happened to me when I was 35.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. So we know each other since we were like toddlers, babies at school.
Yeah, we started school when we were 4.
Yeah, I was a toddler then. Still am actually.
We're still big kids.
Yeah. So let's just talk. Tell me a little bit more about your journey. Like pretty much like that question that we get asked. Tell me your journey from birth to today.
Oh my God, that's just like what? 41 years. But yeah, what can I say about my childhood? I used to be a happy kid, positive kid, always very curious. As life does, life throws things at you. So in school, I was really bullied. But I always had, from a young age, I was trying to take the positive side of things. Even though you were sad within, you take the positive side. Okay, what is life trying to show me from this? What can I learn from this? And that has been my journey pretty much all my life. Throughout my teens, I left the islands when I was 18, decided to study abroad, and ready to explore the world and get new experiences and learn a lot from what's coming to you.
Yeah, so the islands. So just to clarify, so we are both born. We are from Gran Canaria, and
Yes, we are.
Said, isn't it? So at the age of 18, you left. So yeah, where did you go when you left at 18?
I decided to take my studies in business in the UK and in Holland. It was a double degree where you would shift every 6 months from one country to another. And that appealed to me because I wanted to have the experience of traveling abroad and also get some work experience as well. And I was always fascinated by the cultures. We were brought up we studied in an English school where there was multiple nationalities. There were people from India, there were people from China, people from different parts of Europe. And that was always fascinating for me, and that's also an environment I wanted to be in, which is also why I decided to go to Europe and be in a very international environment. Maybe that also comes from my own childhood, having a Danish father, a Dutch mother, brought up in the Canary Islands. So it's a place where I felt comfortable and safe as well.
Yeah,
it was my normal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's we create our normal circumstances, isn't it?
Yes, we do.
Our safe places, so to say.
Yeah. And sometimes we do that consciously and sometimes we do that unconsciously as well.
Definitely. So so you said you went to study business, and then how did your career develop? And and as we're talking a little bit about birthing ourselves brave in this podcast and how we're unlearning what we learn in childhood, you just briefly mentioned about what happened at school and how it's a pattern that you go through in life, isn't it? So in your journey as when you left the islands, how did you intervene that birthing yourself brave and having this rebirth, so to say?
For me, the first step was leaving the island. I mean, you were brought up in a safe environment at home with parents who were always looking out for you, maybe a little bit more strict, controlled environment. And I was like, okay, time to jump out of the nest and be free. And living abroad on my own and not having family around, that was a brave step in itself.
At that young, tender age, isn't it?
It is. I was just 18 when I left. I had already been traveling on my own when I was 16 to Germany, but that was just like getting a taster, staying with a family who was maybe a friend of my parents, for example. So that was a little taster. But actually going out abroad and living in different countries and having to live from a suitcase every 6 months and meeting new people, finding a new home, that was the having to change your mindsets all the time and be brave and see what life throws at you. So
and then you went on to becoming a business application specialist, I believe. So
that was a slower process. Yeah, it was a process of that. I finished my degree and then I decided to stay in the UK, and then I moved back to Spain and started in the fashion industry. And was working there for 15 years in different roles, again in positions where I would be traveling a lot and interacting with people from different cultures. And within the company, moving from different departments, I started in sales, moving on to projects, project management, and then business development. And then I ended up in IT, which no one kind of expected. Everybody's like, Vanessa, you're in IT. But it was also where I enjoyed working with people and understanding people, especially from different departments, the IT side and the business side. They're very different groups of people you work with. And I was a little bit like the gap, bridging the gap between the two, doing projects with them and improving business processes within the business. So it was definitely an exciting journey. Even though inside of me at a young age, I always felt I had to do something different. I wanted to have the freedom of having my own business, but I never dared to do it before. And I actually took the leap here this summer, where I decided, okay, let's be brave. Now is the time. It's time to follow your dreams and open your own business.
Yeah, exciting. So this new business, being a life coach and specializing in helping overachievers jump off. I love the analogy of jumping off the hamster wheel rather than, I actually thought it was get off, but no, jumping off is more.
Jumping off, yes.
More energy to it. And so I think the term that we were talking about, it's you're a digital nomad now. You can work from pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. That has been my dream since I was probably in my 20s, having my own business and being able to travel the world and be location independent, but never dared. Funny enough, I always felt safe until in the corporate world and started to be moving to different countries within the same company, but I never dared to do it with my own company. And finally, I found the courage to do it. It involves a complete different mindset, the corporate mindset to a business owner mindset. Is it tough? Yes. Is it worth it? 100%. I feel I'm growing into another person, and it's so exciting. My passion is to help people, and now I get to work with the people I want to work with and in projects I believe in.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit more about the people that you want to work with and the projects. So of course you're a qualified life coach, and I think it's more NLP that you specialize in. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about that, or what are your best techniques, or how do you see that transformation, or in your own words, how do you see those clients jump off that hamster wheel and continue their soul purpose, so to say?
Normally clients come to me because they have been in a similar situation like me, where we are overachievers, perfectionists, always want to do more and strive. And the more tasks you do is never enough. This whole thing of never good enough is coming back again and again. And I've come to realize, I mean, I burnt out when I was 35, and I realized that burnout was actually a choice. I mean, I spent years striving, wondering, hey, what's going on? The more I do, the less satisfied I am. Will I ever get to joy? And that was awakening. And why they're doing it?
Yeah.
Until maybe you get some signs in your body, you're totally exhausted, things don't feel right, and people think there's something wrong with them. There's actually nothing wrong with them, just that what they're doing or what they're thinking is not correct, and that can be changed. But of course, you have to become aware of that. And working with a life coach or another professional helps you to see your blind spots of why are you getting the results you're getting by the thoughts you're having.
Yeah, I love that. So in a way, you being a life coach and having having lived that experience, you are in a state of objectivity where you can see those blind spots, where somebody who's in that quagmire of that quicksand and they're just consumed, or again using the same analogy, if you are that hamster in that wheel, you can't see yourself as a hamster in the wheel because you're so in that movement.
Exactly. You're in the driver's seat, for example, all the time, in going forward until this is a point. People have told me at the time when I was burning out, you're totally stressed, you're burning out, you've got flus every 2 weeks, you're getting ill often, you're becoming more reactive. There's more irony. But if you're not ready to hear that, you won't make the change. I left it so late that my body burned out on me. But if you're ready for a change and you can feel there's changes in the way you react, you become more reactive, or you can't sleep at night, those little signs where you think, okay, I'm ready to get some help.
Yeah, and it's funny how you say it, isn't it? Often when it's a mindset change that you are helping people with, but they need to be able to tune into the signs from the body first, and that's usually the alarm bells, and that's when they start seeking for help. And it's combining that, isn't it, with the emotions, and then you can get into that thought process of changing, unlearning what
Yeah.
maybe in our child or the way we've been programmed.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel that a lot of us are programmed because we don't want to feel our feelings. It's a bit of I don't want to feel sad, so I'm gonna buffer that. What can I do not to feel sad? Well, I'm gonna go on a shopping spree, so I'm gonna overspend, or I'm gonna hit the fridge and eat more, so I'm gonna be overeating. And the more we kind of, a little bit when you take a ball and put it under the water like a kid, and you just keep it suppressing, and then suddenly it just like pops out in the air. And I see that in the same way with feelings. I mean, you could suppress it, but at one point, it's just gonna hit you in the face.
Yeah, a proper rebound, isn't it? It's a
Exactly. And with working with clients, I kind of show them that a feeling is just a feeling. It's just something you have in the body, and it will pass like anything else. Problem starts when you start to suppress. So that's the areas I like working with the clients very much.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. And lastly, in terms of new beginnings, every birth yourself brave, every moment to moment, you can give yourself the opportunity to start new. So any tips you can give somebody who is experiencing the initial signs of burnout, or just, I guess, in another way to explain this is experiencing distress, any kind of emotional, mental, physical distress, any tips, your top tips, or your advice, your legacy, so to say.
My legacy. One of my favorites is definitely have the big 3 tasks of the day. Many times you come to the office or you start work, you want to look at your emails and respond to them straight away. And I would normally suggest, hey, just plan the 3 big tasks. The 3 big tasks that are going to shift or make the biggest difference in the day. For example, that project, or for example, you're preparing a podcast. What's the task you have to take that's going to push the things forward mostly? And when you get those done, and if you have more energy in the morning, I suggest you do that in the morning. So when they're done, then you've got time for the other things like answering the emails or on so forth. Second thing I would suggest is to put a time on the tasks. So for example, if you say you want to do a presentation for your you set an hour, because if you had the whole day to do it, you probably use the whole day, especially if you're an overachiever and a perfectionist. You just wanted to have perfect, and I think we both know that perfection doesn't really exist. So put a time, set yourself for a timer, and just use that time without any distractions and work on that assignment. And when you finish, do a little celebration. Put on your famous tune or celebrate with your favorite coffee or your favorite tea. Do something to celebrate that moment and have some fun with it. And the third thing would be definitely to put your phone away during the time you have the task done, because there's too many distractions with the phone, especially now with COVID and people working from home. It's so easy just to see, okay, what's happening on Facebook and what's happening on Instagram. Use that hour you set aside wisely, and then on your breaks, celebrate and re-energize again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm actually going to be inspired by you. I've got my little cup of tea.
Excellent.
I'm going to celebrate with you because I think it's we need to actually implement what we're saying as well, rather than just saying it. So you are a living example of what you're helping your clients with, yourself with, your family with. So it's nice to follow your own footsteps, your own legacy, so to say, isn't it?
Be a product of your product.
Yeah, I love that. Be a product of your product. Brilliant. Yeah, so thank you, Vanessa. Anything else before we wrap up? Anything that you would want to talk about? I don't know whether it's appropriate now, but our childhood, we were lucky that we had each other, and we were brought up in a loving and nurturing environment. But of course, our childhood is a big marker in the rest of our lives as well. Any final words or anything that you would want to add? And because you've actually done the whole round circle, isn't it? You were there in Gran Canaria. You went abroad, you did everything, and now you're at the moment of the release of this podcast, you're still in. You might if you hear this podcast in a few years,
might be somewhere. Yeah, it depends what COVID decides, because it's trending on the moment. So let's see. But the whole idea with digital nomad is to be close to a family and then travel when it's possible and see the world a bit more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the childhood. I believe we're on this planet to evolve. Many times the things that life brings us from childhood, being if it's bullying in school or any other traumas that can be, is what is it that we can learn from it? Well, how can we grow to a better self? How can we grow into our higher self? And with that, become a better person and serve people. And then once you grow more and become happier, it's just going to be spraying to the people around you as well. So that's my mission. I truly believe we're here to evolve, and we are capable of so much more than what we think.
Yeah, it's that grey matter, isn't it? We only use a certain percentage.
Yeah, it is.
I'm actually going to mention this because I don't know where I've not told you this before, but there's a fantastic film called Lucy. Do you know when you watched it? And it's about the capacity of the human mind.
It is.
That is proper evolution.
It is. But so believe it. And I mean, just like doing the shift from the corporate world, that was something safe for me. I've done this for so many years, to going into a digital nomad, having my own business. I can feel my whole mind having to evolve to believe in myself. I look back on, why do I have this lack of belief in myself? Like, oh, can I do it? Can I pull it off? And you're like, yes, hell yes, I can pull it off. But you have to work with you have to be working with your thoughts so often and see, okay, what's serving you, what not serving you. Because many people, without knowing, sometimes they want to do something, get stuck, but they're not aware what the thoughts they are thinking. If you keep on thinking, speaking to yourself, you're not good enough, you should be doing more, you should be better, you're not going to be taking the right action from a place of lack. However, if you come from a place of abundance, yes, I'm good enough, I believe that things are possible for me, it sounds like there'll be an area more fun, and you can create much more from there.
Yeah, in your own words, what we were saying before as well, you're more productive, aren't you?
Yes, you are, much more.
Yeah, when
we need more fun in our lives.
Definitely a bit more
there
like
should
the rain and the beach.
So yeah.
No, thank you. That's a beautiful thought to go away with, that we are evolving, we are products of our own product, and basically in a way we come a full circle, unlearning what we learned in childhood to be the best versions of ourselves, to serve ourselves and others better.
Definitely, definitely. Nicely said.
Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. I'm sure we'll be in touch.
We will.
We'll
Lovely having me. Thank you so much.
definitely, and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Please do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe for future episodes, and also to let other people know that we exist. If there are any links mentioned that you cannot view, visit the YouTube channel Artie and Marissa, and you will find them on the relevant episode under the playlist of Birth Yourself Brave podcast.